Yeah, family. But we got NBA YoungBoy. How he ran up 500 million at 25 years old.
Last
Crazy.
year, while most 24-year-olds were worried about student loans and entry-level jobs, NBA YoungBoy made $100 million from his
100
garage while
mil.
on house arrest. Let that sink in for a minute, fam. $100 million from a garage while legally not allowed to leave his house. How does a kid from North Baton Rouge who dropped
And
out of school in ninth grade
on
become
house
the
arrest. So
youngest
that's
rapper in
wild for a
history to
rapper.
generate this kind of wealth? And why does he release more music than artists with entire teams behind them? It's your boy. And
That's
today we're
motivational
breaking
for
down
real.
the most insane work ethic and money-making machine in hip-hop history. Hi, I'm back with another deep dive documentary. Hi, I'm back with another investigation into what happens when raw talent meets unstoppable drive. Today we're
Why
diving
bro
into the
cheesing
story
like
of
that?
Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden, better known as NBA YoungBoy, and how he built a $100 million empire
I
before
would
he
have
could
never guessed
legally
that's his
rent a
name.
car. To understand how NBA YoungBoy became the youngest rapper to make this kind of money, you got to understand where he came from. We're talking about North Baton Rouge, Louisiana, specifically North 38th Street and Chippewa Street. This ain't just any hood, gang. This is one of the most dangerous areas in one of the most dangerous cities in America.
Funny Mike
The
from over
murder
there
rate in
too.
Baton Rouge is consistently among the highest in the nation, and North Baton Rouge is where most
Y'all notice how like a lot of the famous people are always like from the same places? Like notice how a lot of people that are blowing up now. Speed, DG, Funny Mike, Young Boy, like you notice all these popping people are always like from these same places. A lot of people that are popping from LA, Michigan, like Detroit, Pontiac, all these same places over and over again. That's what
of
I've been
that
noticing.
violence goes down. Born Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden in 1999, YoungBoy came into this world already fighting against impossible odds. His father, Jeffrey Tate, wasn't in his life growing up because he had been sentenced to 55 years in prison when
55
YoungBoy was
years.
just
Dang.
8 years old. This wasn't some minor charge either. His
Imagine
pops had
that.
been convicted of armed robbery and attempted first-degree murder after shooting a store
Young
clerk
boy
during
look
a
old
robbery
with a
at Al's
mustache.
convenience store on North Sherwood Forest. My daddy got 55 years when I was 8. YoungBoy
That's
would later
sick.
rap.
That's
And that line
crazy.
hits different when you understand the full context. His father wasn't just absent. He was locked away for what was essentially a life sentence, leaving YoungBoy to navigate the
Yeah,
streets without any
55
male
years.
guidance. But the tragedy didn't stop there. YoungBoy's uncle on his mother's side, Andy Golden, was also deep in the streets. Andy was known as a prolific robber in Baton Rouge, but his story ended even worse than YoungBoy's father. During a robbery attempt, Andy was shot in the head and killed. YoungBoy would later reference this in multiple songs, rapping about how
Damn.
his uncle got shot in the head and died while hitting a lick.
Yo,
Think
Juice
about this for a
WRLD. So this man already basically you lost your father to jail. That's pretty much a life sentence. 55 years, that's pretty much life. That's your whole life gone. Pretty much. You're not gonna get out till you're an old man. And then to lose your uncle, so like you losing every father figure around. It's crazy.
By the time YoungBoy was 8 years old, his father was serving 55 years and his uncle was dead from street violence. That's the kind of trauma that would break most kids, but for YoungBoy, it became fuel for something bigger. His mother, Shirhonda Gaulden, was trying to hold everything together, but she couldn't be everywhere at once. So YoungBoy was initially raised by his grandmother, Alice Golden, who became his protector and the most important person in his young life. In
That
a
was that generation for
2023
real. Nana's
Billboard
taking
interview,
care of the
YoungBoy
grandkids.
called his grandmother his protector, and you could hear the pain in his voice when he talked about losing her. When his grandmother passed away, YoungBoy's world completely fell apart. With his father locked up, his uncle dead, and his grandmother gone, he ended up in a group home. And this is where
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, if your mom not around, your dad not around, uncle gone, grandma, but I was about to say, I'm like, where? Like, dang, you losing every close person to you. That gotta send you, like, your mind just messed up after that, bro. Especially, like, you losing your grandmother and you so close to her. Like, I still miss my grandma to this day. Rest in peace, Nana K. Like, I still be feeling that. That's hard.
story
Bro,
gets
ended up in
really
a
dark
group
because the
home.
group home wasn't some safe haven. It was another dangerous environment where YoungBoy faced physical abuse and bullying. I had to fight for survival as a child, YoungBoy would later explain in interviews. The experience of being targeted and abused in the group home forced him to develop a dark, violent side just to protect himself. This wasn't a choice, it was survival. But here's what makes YoungBoy's story different from other rappers who came up in similar situations. Even as a toddler, he was dealing with serious physical trauma. He broke his neck while wrestling when he was
As
just a
a
little
toddler?
kid, an injury so severe that he had to wear a full neck and head brace while his spine healed. The procedure left him with 3 permanent scars on his head, scars that are visible to this day and serve as a constant reminder of the pain he endured from the very beginning of his life. The street
Bro, wait, what? They saying YoungBoy broke his neck as a toddler? No, we gotta see that. What age did he break his neck? At the age of 4. Bro, what? My son is 3, about to be 4, bro. Like, I can't even imagine that. That's insane. At the age of 4, breaking your neck from wrestling? Yo,
of North Baton
kids,
Rouge
bro.
weren't just dangerous for adults. They were
That's
claiming
insane.
kids too. When YoungBoy was just 10 years old, he lost one of his closest friends to gun violence. David Cobb, known as Lil Dave, was 16 when he was shot in the spine at a memorial picnic that was supposed to honor teens who had lost their lives to gun
Insane.
violence. The irony was devastating. Dave was killed at an event meant to prevent exactly what happened to him.
I know that
Dave
had
was
to
killed
shake
by a
everybody
chopper,
there.
YoungBoy would later rap, and the loss of his friend at such a young age turned his heart cold. In his songs, he talks about how Lil Dave taught him how to smoke, shoot dice, and get money for sneakers. Losing
big
someone
brother,
who was like a
yeah.
big brother to him when he was just 10 years old planted seeds of darkness that would influence his music for years to come. By the time YoungBoy was in 9th grade, the combination of trauma, loss, and street influence had completely derailed his education. He dropped out of school and started robbing people, following in the footsteps of his father and uncle. At 14 years old, he was arrested for robbery and sent to a youth detention center. But here's where YoungBoy's story takes a different turn than most kids who end up in the system. While he was locked up, he discovered something that would change his life forever: music. During those 6 months in juvenile detention, YoungBoy wrote at least 25 songs with no beats, just
That's
using
wild.
music as a way to express the pain and trauma he had been carrying his whole life.
Bro, a real artist.
It helped
No
me know
music,
my
no
purpose, helped
beat,
me
just
know what I
writing.
want to do, YoungBoy said about his time in detention. It helped me learn how to express myself. This is crucial to understanding YoungBoy's later success because music wasn't just a career choice for him, it was therapy, survival, and purpose all rolled into one. While other kids his age were worried about homework and dating, YoungBoy was processing generational trauma
Yeah,
through
bro,
lyrics
trying
and
to
melodies. When
survive.
YoungBoy
I
got out
can't
of
talk,
juvenile
bro.
detention in 2015, he was a different person. He had found his purpose. But he was still just a 16-year-old kid with no money, no connections, and no real plan beyond making music. What he did have was an unbreakable work ethic and a burning desire to never be broke again. His first mixtape, Life Before Fame, dropped in April 2015, and it was raw as hell. This wasn't
Yeah, if this don't motivate you, like the grind of YoungBoy, I don't know what will. This making me like I'm not even no YoungBoy fan or nothing. Like I probably don't really listen to any of his music. I might have to after this for sure, just because his work ethic is like that. But like I've always had respect for him though, just because he seems like the artist that's genuine and he like really respects his fans for sure. So I'm gonna probably have to react to some of his music. Y'all let me know what we should react to
polished
first.
debut. It was pure emotion from a teenager who had lived through more trauma than most adults. The tape featured tracks like Homicide and Range Rover, and you could hear the pain and anger in every bar. But what set YoungBoy apart from other young rappers wasn't just his story. It was his output. While most artists were dropping one project a year, YoungBoy was releasing mixtapes every few months. Mind of a Menace came out in December 2015, followed by Mind of a Menace 2 in April 2016, then Before I Go in June 2016. This wasn't normal, gang.
Yeah, bro started
Most artists
young.
take years to develop their sound and build a catalog, but YoungBoy was treating music like a full-time job from day one. The breakthrough came with 38 Baby in September 2016. The title track was named after North 38th Street where he grew up. and it painted a vivid picture of his daily life, drinking lean, smoking with demons, and sending hitters at people who
Smoking
crossed
with
him.
demons.
The song described the pressure of being a 16-year-old who couldn't go anywhere without being armed and having to watch out for friends who had turned into enemies.
Damn.
But here's what's crazy. YoungBoy was literally recording some of these songs with an AK-47 in the studio. Footage later surfaced showing him in the booth with a fully automatic weapon, which gives you an idea of how dangerous his life was even as his music career was taking off. The 38
Yeah,
Baby
people
music
want to take you
video
down
changed
as soon as you coming
everything.
up.
It showed YoungBoy and his crew with serious firepower, and people were shocked to see someone so young living such a dangerous life. The video has over 100 million views today, but more importantly, it caught the attention of established artists who recognized YoungBoy's talent. Kevin Gates, one of Louisiana's biggest rap stars, was so impressed
Kevin Gates
that he not
too.
only featured on the 38 Baby
I forgot he was
mixtape,
from
but got a
Louisiana.
portrait of YoungBoy tattooed on his leg. Boozy Badass invited him to collaborate on My Little Son.
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of wild. And Boosie, I forget Boosie, but like he said, he got him tatted on his leg. So you put another man on your leg? Kevin Gates different, bro.
Boy tattooed on
He's
his
different.
leg. Boozy Badass invited
But
him to
hey,
collaborate
YoungBoy's
on My
motivational
Little
though.
Son.
Even if you
And
don't rock with his
21
music,
Savage
he's
jumped on a
motivational.
remix of Murder. These weren't just cosigns.
Savage,
they were
Atlanta.
validations from artists who understood what real street credibility looked like. But while YoungBoy was building his music career, he was also dealing with serious legal issues. The same street life that gave him credibility in his music was creating problems that threatened to derail everything he was building. By 2017, he was facing multiple charges and the possibility of serious prison time. This is where most young artists would have slowed down or tried to clean up their image. But YoungBoy did the opposite. He doubled down on his music output. Even while dealing with legal issues, he was releasing project after project, building a fan base that was more loyal than anything the industry had seen in years. What separates NBA YoungBoy from every other rapper in the game isn't just his talent, it's his absolutely insane work ethic. We're talking about an artist who treats music like other people treat breathing.
Yeah.
According to DJ Academics, who has inside knowledge of YoungBoy's operation.
DJ Academics. Academics.
Breathing. According to DJ Academics, who has inside knowledge of YoungBoy's operation, his daily routine is something that would break most people. He does the show, does about like 2 hours. He shoots a video before the show and after the show.
Dang.
If he's not shooting a video after the show, he's recording
He
music after
is
the show.
grinding.
The show
That's
always goes on for
crazy.
him, man. So that work ethic is still there. Recording
Hold
music
on.
after
They
before
say
the
he's
show and after the
shooting.
show. He does the show, does about like 2 hours. He shoots a video before the show and after the show. If he's not shooting a video
Before
after the
and
show,
after
he's
the
recording
show.
music after the
Sheesh,
show.
that's
The
like,
show always goes on for him,
what,
man.
6 to
So
8
that work
hours
ethic
just
is still
straight
there,
working?
Academics explain. Think about that.
That's showing like even when you work for yourself, you better be working harder than you would for any of these jobs. Keep in mind, these jobs do not care about you. Work is hard. Work even harder for yourself when it comes to stuff like this. Whether you're an artist or whatever the case, your own business. YoungBoy's an example. You gotta follow his lead.
YoungBoy performs a
Motivational.
2-hour show, then shoots a music video, then goes to the studio to
I'm about
record
to
more
listen to
music.
some YoungBoy.
That's not a special occasion. That's his regular routine. While other artists are partying after shows or taking breaks between projects, YoungBoy is creating more content. This work ethic
Yeah.
isn't just impressive, it's the foundation of his entire business model. In an era where streaming pays fractions of what physical sales used to generate, YoungBoy figured out that the key to making real money was volume. If one song makes you $10,000, then 100 songs make you $1 million. It's simple math, but most artists don't have the discipline to execute it. The numbers back
You
this
just
up.
gotta keep putting out.
YoungBoy has released more music in the past 5 years than most artists release in their entire careers. We're talking about dozens of mixtapes, albums, and collaborative projects. His YouTube channel has billions of views and his streaming numbers are consistently among the highest in hip-hop. But the work ethic goes deeper than just recording music. YoungBoy shoots his own videos, manages his own social media, and maintains direct communication with his fan base. He's not just an artist,
Birdie's
he's a
direct to
content
consumer.
creation machine that never stops producing. The House Arrest Empire. In 2021, YoungBoy's legal troubles caught up to him in a major way. He was arrested on federal charges and eventually placed on house arrest while awaiting trial. For most artists, This would have been career suicide. You can't tour, you can't do shows, you can't even leave your house to shoot music videos. But for YoungBoy, house arrest became the foundation of the most
Yeah, you're kind
profitable
of locked
period of
in.
his career. According to DJ Academics, who has inside sources close to YoungBoy's operation, 2023 was the year everything changed financially. Allegedly, YoungBoy made last year $100 million.
That's crazy. When you think about it though, if you are on house arrest, right, and you're in this generation of like everything being online, if you aren't constantly streaming or doing whatever your craft is all freaking day, then you are just sitting there. Like if you're locked in the house, that should be all you're doing. You should be grinding like that. But maybe some other artists, I don't know, like they were saying, maybe they're just not thinking, oh, I should put out more output. They're thinking, let me clean up my image. But if you're locked in the house and you have a studio, it makes sense.
Academics revealed. So if you ask my man OG3, which is a guy when I was there, he was like, yo, we call him 100 mil out of the garage. So basically
Yeah.
in 2023, he made $100 million just making videos in his garage. $100 million from a garage while on house arrest.
That's
Let that
crazy.
sink in, because this is unprecedented in hip-hop history. No artist has ever generated this kind of revenue while being legally prohibited from leaving their house. But how did he do it? According to Academics' breakdown, the money came from multiple sources. Apparently, he sold part of the catalog that he owned for about like 35 million. He signed another contract worth about 30 to 40 million with Capitol. And then he did a few other deals, I won't talk about those. And then there was royalty also from his recordings that he already had. The
Oh,
catalog sale was particularly smart business. YoungBoy had been independent for most of his career, which meant he owned his masters, the rights to his recordings. When streaming numbers and fan loyalty proved his long-term value, he was able to sell a portion of his catalog for massive money while still retaining ownership of future releases. The new deal with Capitol Records was reportedly worth 30 to 40 million dollars, but it wasn't a traditional record deal.
that's
YoungBoy
interesting.
maintained significant control over his music and release schedule, which allowed him to continue his high-output strategy while having major label resources behind him. But the most impressive part of the house arrest period wasn't just the money. It was how YoungBoy turned a legal restriction into a creative advantage.
Yeah.
Unable to leave his house, he converted his garage into a professional studio and video production facility. He was shooting multiple music videos per week, all from the same location, but making each one look different through creative direction and post-production. The content was connecting with fans on a deeper level because it felt more intimate and personal. Instead of expensive locations and elaborate setups, YoungBoy was giving fans a direct look into his daily life while on house arrest. The authenticity was
fire.
undeniable, and the output was constant. Understanding YoungBoy's drive to make money requires understanding his family situation. At just 25 years old, YoungBoy has 12 children with multiple women.
25 years old, 12 children, multiple baby mamas. Bro, rich like that though. What's poppin', Jared?
For most people, this would be
Dang, that's
seen as a
crazy.
burden or a mistake, but for YoungBoy, his
Drop a
kids
like on
are
this
his
video.
primary motivation for everything he does. I got 12 kids to feed, YoungBoy has said
12
in multiple
kids.
interviews, and this isn't just a throwaway line.
I
It's the
can't do
driving
12
force
kids. I would
behind
do
his
6
entire
at the
career.
most.
When you're
Dang.
responsible for 12 children, plus their mothers, plus extended family members who depend on you,
Yeah,
the pressure
that's
to
a lot.
generate income is enormous. But it's not just about basic needs like food and shelter. YoungBoy wants to provide his children with opportunities he never had. He wants them to go to good schools, live in safe neighborhoods, and never have to worry about money the way he did growing up. That level of financial responsibility requires the kind of income that most people can't even imagine. The math is simple, but staggering. If each child needs $100,000 per year for living expenses, education, and future planning, that's $1.2 million annually just for his kids. Add in the mothers, extended family, his own lifestyle, taxes, and business expenses, and YoungBoy needs to
When you put it that way, even if you're giving your kids, like they're not giving the kids the money, but that 100,000 allowance per year per kid, 1.2 million, You put it in that perspective, that don't sound like that much. So I see how he handling it, but I thought he was getting all that from royalties at first. I'm like, how are you getting 500 mil from royalties? Is that, I guess, is that even possible? I don't know. I want to learn more about the music industry. Y'all let me know if y'all YoungBoy fans in the comments.
Generates several $millions per year just to maintain his current situation. This financial pressure explains why YoungBoy's work ethic is so extreme. He can't afford to take breaks, can't afford to have creative blocks, and can't afford to rely on traditional industry timelines. When you have 12 kids depending on you, every day you're not making money is a day you're falling behind. But the motivation goes deeper than just financial responsibility. YoungBoy grew up without a father, and he's determined not to let his children experience that same abandonment. Despite his legal troubles and the chaos of his personal life, he's actively involved in his children's lives and frequently posts about them on social media. "I'm trying to break the cycle," YoungBoy has said about his approach to fatherhood. Growing up in North Baton Rouge, he saw too many kids without fathers, too many families broken by violence and incarceration. His success isn't just about money. It's about proving that someone from his background can build something lasting for the next generation. What makes YoungBoy's financial success so remarkable isn't just the amount of money he's made, it's how he's made it. While most artists rely on traditional revenue streams like album sales, touring, and endorsements, YoungBoy has created a completely different business model that maximizes every aspect of the modern music industry. The foundation of his success is ownership. Unlike many artists who sign away their rights for upfront money, YoungBoy maintained control of his masters for most of his career. This meant that every stream, every download, and every licensing deal generated revenue directly for him rather than a record label. The streaming strategy is particularly genius. While other artists focus on creating 1 or 2 hit songs per year, YoungBoy floods the market with content. His YouTube channel consistently uploads new videos, his streaming platforms always have fresh music, and his social media never stops providing content.
Wild with the bun.
This constant output keeps him relevant in algorithms and ensures that fans always have something new to consume. The direct fan relationship is another crucial element. YoungBoy doesn't rely on radio play or industry gatekeepers to reach his audience. He speaks directly to his fans through social media, responds to their comments, and makes them feel like they're part of his journey. This creates a level of loyalty that translates directly into revenue. The touring model, when he was able to tour, was also revolutionary. According to DJ Academics, YoungBoy was commanding $800,000 to $1 million per show, with some estimates suggesting his entire tour could generate over $50 million in profit. What do you think YoungBoy gets for this entire tour? After paying production, after paying security, venues, what does YoungBoy pocket? $50 million.
Probably at least.
More academics revealed. These
I would
aren't
think at least
typical
30
numbers for
million
someone
out of that.
YoungBoy's age. Most artists take decades to build the kind of fan base that can support million-dollar show fees. But YoungBoy's constant output and authentic connection with fans allowed him to reach that level in just
have y'all seen the recent YoungBoy show? Let me see if I can pull it up on TikTok, but the recent ones were looking crazy. People were getting their cars freaking broken into. People were like, why would you take your car to a YoungBoy show? But yo, people gotta drive. Let me see if I can find it. YoungBoy show was crazy. Like their shows are wild. It was like it's a YN fest. They said YB fans a different breed, boy. It's just crazy, but yeah, make sure y'all check that stuff out on TikTok. It's wild to see.
Beyond the financial motivations and business strategies,
they said there's
something deeper driving YoungBoy's success. A psychological
break
need
into
to prove
people's cars and
that
everything.
Stems from his traumatic childhood. Growing up without a father, losing his grandmother, and surviving the streets of North Baton Rouge created a mindset where failure isn't an option. "I don't like disappointment," YoungBoy has said in interviews. "I just don't like to put too much faith in anything. Even being on the other side of it, like I know some people that are probably disappointed, so it's just like, just knowing that, and that's just not a good feeling altogether, so I don't really let myself get let down." This fear of disappointment drives him to work harder than anyone else in the industry. If other artists release one album per year, YoungBoy releases 5. If other artists shoot one
Why they
video
put little TJ in there?
per month, YoungBoy shoots 1 per week. He's constantly trying to stay ahead of potential failure by outworking everyone around him. The trauma from his childhood also created a sense of urgency that most people don't have. When you've seen friends die young, family members go to prison for life, and opportunities disappear overnight, you understand that success isn't guaranteed and time isn't unlimited.
Guess how
YoungBoy
it
approaches his
today.
career like someone who knows that
Tomorrow ain't
everything could be
promised.
taken away at any moment. This mindset is both his greatest strength and his biggest weakness. It drives him to achieve incredible success, but it also creates a level of stress and paranoia that affects his personal relationships and mental health. The same drive that made him $100 million also keeps him isolated and constantly looking over his shoulder.
Right.
YoungBoy's success has fundamentally changed how the music industry operates. His independent approach proved that artists don't need major label support to reach the highest levels of commercial success. His streaming numbers consistently compete with or exceed those of artists with...
I mean, we gotta keep in mind, this is literally his name. NBA never broke again. So, like, of course, he should be the top artist. He's living up his name.
Backing, and his fan base is more engaged
killing it.
than
I'm
most
about to start
mainstream
listening.
acts. The work ethic he's demonstrated has also raised the bar for other artists. In an era where many rappers release music sporadically and take long breaks between projects, YoungBoy's constant output makes other artists look lazy by comparison. Fans now expect more frequent releases, more direct communication, and more authentic content from their favorite artists. The financial model he's created has also influenced how other young artists approach their careers. The importance of owning your masters, maintaining direct fan relationships, and maximizing streaming revenue has become standard advice for new artists entering the industry. But perhaps most importantly, YoungBoy's success has proven that authenticity still matters in hip-hop. In an era of manufactured personas and industry plants, YoungBoy's genuine connection to his background and his unfiltered approach to sharing his life has resonated with millions of fans who are hungry for something real. As of 2025, NBA YoungBoy's legal situation has improved significantly. He's no longer on house arrest and has been able to return to touring and normal promotional activities. But the period of forced isolation actually strengthened his position in the industry by proving that his success wasn't dependent on traditional promotional methods. The $100 million he generated during house arrest has given him financial security that most artists never achieve. He's invested in real estate, business ventures, and his children's futures, creating multiple income streams that don't depend solely on music. But the drive hasn't diminished. If anything, his success has motivated him to reach even higher levels. He's talked about wanting to become the first rapper to generate $1 billion in career earnings, and given his track record, that goal doesn't seem unrealistic. The family motivation remains the primary driving force. With 12 children and more potentially on the way, YoungBoy's financial responsibilities will only continue to grow. But he's built a business model that can scale with his needs, and his fan base continues to expand globally. YoungBoy's story represents something larger than just individual success. He's proven that someone from the most disadvantaged background can build generational wealth through talent, work ethic, and smart business decisions. His success challenges stereotypes about young black men from impoverished backgrounds and shows what's possible when raw talent meets unstoppable determination. The fact that he achieved this level of success while dealing with serious legal issues also highlights the resilience required to succeed in hip-hop. Many artists have used legal troubles as excuses for career stagnation, but YoungBoy turned his restrictions into advantages and found ways to thrive despite the obstacles. His approach to fatherhood, while unconventional, also represents a different model for young men in hip-hop. Instead of abandoning his children or treating them as burdens, YoungBoy has made them the center of his motivation and publicly embraced his role as a provider and protector. The most important lesson from YoungBoy's story is about the power of consistency and authenticity. While other artists chase trends or try to manufacture viral moments, YoungBoy has built his success on consistently delivering authentic content that connects with his audience. The work ethic he's demonstrated is also a lesson for anyone trying to achieve success in any field.
Bro, that is nothing but the truth. Like, watching this makes you want to go like so hard on YouTube, Twitch, whatever you're doing. Young boy showing like, hey, if you just keep grinding, like keep your head in, lock in. If you gotta isolate, do whatever it takes, but lock in and get to it. Basically, even if you're on house arrest, even if you're on any obstacle in your way, just lock in. You could reach that success for real. Volume is key. Keep putting out.
The willingness to outwork everyone around you, to treat your
Just
craft
outwork
like a
them.
full-time job, and to never be satisfied with current achievements is what separates extraordinary success from ordinary results. His business acumen, particularly around ownership and direct fan relationships, provides a blueprint for other artists who want to maximize their earning potential. The traditional music industry model is designed to benefit labels and intermediaries, but YoungBoy proved that artists can capture more value by maintaining control and building direct connections with fans. Perhaps most importantly, his story shows that your background doesn't have to determine your future. Growing up in North Baton Rouge with a father in prison and surrounded by violence, YoungBoy had every excuse to fail. Instead, he used those experiences as fuel for unprecedented success. The story of NBA
Right?
YoungBoy is ultimately about transformation, how someone can take the worst possible circumstances and turn them into the foundation for extraordinary success. His journey from a traumatized kid in North Baton Rouge to the youngest rapper to make $100 million represents more than just financial
That's
achievement.
crazy.
It's proof that talent, work ethic, and authenticity can overcome any obstacle. The $100 million he made
That's
during
true.
house
You
arrest
gotta keep
isn't just a
grinding.
number. It's a
It's a
statement about what's
marathon.
possible when you refuse to let circumstances define your limitations. While other artists were complaining about COVID restrictions and industry changes, YoungBoy was adapting, innovating, and building an empire from his garage. His motivation, providing for 12
Really out
children
the
and breaking
garage.
generational cycles of poverty and abandonment, gives his success a deeper meaning than just personal wealth. He's not just building a career, he's building a legacy that will impact his family for generations. The work ethic he's demonstrated, recording music, shooting videos, and connecting with fans at a pace that would exhaust most people, has redefined what it means to be a professional artist in the modern era. He's shown that success isn't about waiting for opportunities. It's about creating them through relentless effort and consistent output. As YoungBoy continues to evolve as an artist and businessman, his story serves as inspiration for anyone who has been counted out, written off, or told that their dreams are unrealistic. He's living proof that with enough determination, talent, and smart decision-making, it's possible to achieve things that seem impossible. The kid from North 38th Street who started writing songs in juvenile detention has become one of the most successful artists of his generation. But more than that, he's become a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to accept limitations and commit to outworking everyone around you. NBA YoungBoy's story is still being written, but the chapters we've seen so far prove that he's not just a rapper. He's a force of nature who has fundamentally changed what success looks like in hip-hop. And at just 25 years old, with 12 kids to motivate him and an unbreakable work ethic driving him forward, his biggest achievements may still be ahead of him. The youngest rapper to make $100 million isn't slowing down. He's just getting started. And that should terrify every other artist in the game. Because if YoungBoy can make this much money from a garage while on house arrest, imagine what he can do with complete freedom and unlimited.
That's true. Hey, shout out to Young Boy. Roses to him, because that is grind and motivation, bro. On to our next video. Like and subscribe.
Resources.
I might even end it right here, fam, and do more reactions tomorrow. But appreciate y'all watching, fam. God bless. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Stay tuned for more reaction videos on this channel coming soon. If you're a Young Boy fan, let me know in the comments. And if there's a specific YB music video y'all want me to react to, let me know. Peace out. See y'all next stream.